And away we go. It's the aftermath, kind of, I guess. While the game is going on, because I'm going to be quite honest with you, I really don't have any interest in talking about this game go well past midnight. So I decided we were going to just watch the fourth quarter together. And when it's done, it's done. And we put this one like the old burn the tape. We burn the tape. We move on. And outside of the other 5 shows that are required to talk about this game on the network over the next couple days, we act like it never happened. Get my mic in place. Hi, Keegan. How's it going, buddy?
I didn't realize that fumble kicked out of bounds was on 4th and 13.
Yeah. Yep. And they take it in for a touchdown. It is now 34-9, Kansas State leading over Cincinnati. And I didn't think we needed to wait until the end of this game to talk about it. Aaron didn't think he could control his emotions as the game was going on well enough to do a show. And so I hit up Keegan and said, hey, you're hanging out in your hotel in Atlanta. Why don't we just discuss things like what we've seen so far in this football game, which is really not that much. And then we can talk your trip to Atlanta, your observations from the basketball win today, your observations from 2 trips to see Sean Abayev. We've gotten the name correct now.
Abev is better, though.
I like Abev better, but he goes by Abayev, so we're going to call him Abayev from here on out. Keegan, they came out flat, 3 and out immediately. Immediate Kansas State touchdown, another 3 and out, a Kansas State field goal,
6 and out.
Oh yeah, they did get a first down. That's right.
Yeah,
they snuck a first down in on that second drive. 6 and out. My bad. A 38-yard punt, a 33-yard punt. I don't think they have punted since then.
Thank God.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, 2 punts from Mason Fletcher, an average of 35 yards. They have decided to go for it on 4th down every other time, and that has not been good.
0-4.
0 for 4. They are unfortunately, this does more than anything. It brings back feelings of last year when, as the stretch run got here, Cincinnati got dominated. And I thought they held their own against Iowa State for as long as they could, with the offense being as bad as they were. It was a 3-point game with 5 minutes left in the game. That's respectable. This has not been respectable. This has been an ass kicking in pretty much every sense of the word. Kansas State is dominating this game. 356 total yards. They haven't even needed to pass. They've got 230 on the ground, 126 in the air, but it hasn't been close since the opening kickoff, Keegan. What if there's the first reception for Royer of the game as they run a screen to Evan Pryor that loses 5 yards on first down. What are your thoughts so far on this game, Keegs?
Is it going to get worse than West Virginia last year? Is this worse than West Virginia last year? I think given the circumstances and the context, it's worse because you're supposed to have a better team.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would say, that game was objectively worse. Like, it was, 28-0, like before you could blink, it felt like in that West Virginia game last year. But this has been on the same level. Like, they're just getting demolished. in basically every sense of the word.
Yeah.
That's not good. Like, you've got bowl eligibility on the line. This is a Kansas State team that has not played well over the final or over the past couple weeks. They got beat by Houston. And then, you come in here and let them do essentially whatever they want. They go just a terrible play on third down. Incomplete. It's 4th and 7. Sorsby overthrows Tony Johnson. They're going to go for it again. Their fifth attempt on 4th down. Oh, it looked like it hit off a helmet maybe at the line of scrimmage. The problem, Keegan, is they're 0 for 4 on 4th down. I think most of them have been 4th and long. 4th and 7, 4th and 8, 4th and 9. It's just frustrating. All of it.
It's also to the point where Cincinnati's going for it on like 4th down in the first quarter, thinking like, oh, like we need this or we're not going to be able to win.
We're not going to be able to keep up. Like, and they're
like, if we don't score on this drive, we're going to be in trouble. Like, that should not be the case. You should not have to score on your first drive in order to be able to win a game. Now they're 0 for 5 on 4th down. He was there a little early, but UC's been there early tonight and has gotten away with it. So,
yeah. Still not a great throw. I mean, he's missed. No. He's missed what, 3? Like, if he just puts the right touch on the ball, 3 touchdowns on plays that he hit at the beginning of the year every time, and wasn't like he was pressured and like staring down the barrel. He's just made a bunch of bad throws tonight. The like, you talk about Kansas State's pass defense has been bad. The plays have been there to be made.
He made a very accurate throw to Brendan Mott, which almost went back for a touchdown.
What in the world was that?
That was one of those where you're in the back of your head, you're thinking, okay, Corey, was it Corey or Evan? I think it was Corey. He's like, Corey's going to be.
Evan was right there.
Yeah.
For like a screen.
He's like, Evan's going to be in this spot, and I don't even have to think about it. And he just threw it.
Great. Well, the problem also was Philip Wilder did not engage the defensive end at all. The defensive end was just standing there unblocked, and Wilder was like standing next to him. Mm-hmm. Like he didn't know what they called. They had a screen called right there. Like, if you get your hands in him, he's probably not able to just breadbasket that ball and run it to the 7-yard line. I mean, look, if you go in 20-3, it's a terrible half.
Yeah.
It's a terrible half. But at least there's, you can get things going and make it interesting in the second half. You go into halftime 27-3, that's a wrap. There's nothing you can do to come back in this game.
Yeah. And Kansas State gets the ball out of the half. Like, it's all just bad. Like, you have no momentum. You have no reason to believe that you'll be able to come back. And it's like it's almost impressive how consistently bad they've been to end each first half.
In a new way, almost. I mean, we got spoiled with just the missed field goals. The missed field goals were delightful looking back on what has happened since then.
Like, I would like to go through all the games and just see what the end of each half has looked like. Most of them are missed field goals. You go back to Miami, and it's a fumble through the back of the end zone. And then you have an interception turning into a touchdown.
Yeah.
Guys,
look, I know you're frustrated. I know you're mad. They're not going to fire Scott Satterfield. It's not happening. It's not happening. So you can be frustrated. You can scream into the void. You can vent your frustrations. I understand all of those things. I don't have a problem with any of those things. It is what it is. They're not playing well, and people are going to be pissed. But he's not getting fired. It's not happening. Sorsby has cost the team the last 4 games. I don't know that I would go that far, but I will agree that he has not been good enough.
He deserves some blame.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's also a level of receivers aren't getting open like they were earlier in the year. But, I mean, how many touchdowns did he miss today? Evan Pryor was one.
Mays straight up the middle of the field.
Yes, there's two. And then Evan Pryor against Iowa State was a miss.
Yeah. I mean, you're right, Wolfie. It is each of the last 4 games, he has had at least one. And Jaquan Sank's limping off the field now. There's still 12 minutes left in this game, Keegan.
That's unreal.
I'd rather watch me versus X fans on Twitter for 12 hours.
I could not believe, like, we're in the middle of the Georgia Tech game. Like, you know, clock's ticking, we got plays going on, and I'm just getting notifications about you talking about X never going to a Final Four. And a conversation that started 28 hours ago on Twitter.
Some guys are committed to the game. Like, some guys just have a love of the game that goes beyond, you know, the measurables. It's the intangibles. It's the things that, you know, making X fans look bad on Twitter just burns inside my soul. They're relentless and not in a good way.
Yeah,
Nick,
we needed you to say not in a good way. Thank
Elliot,
you,
what's up? Zebra. We got 3rd and 5 for the Wildcats here. I mean, honestly, what and Giddens is going to easily, I don't know, is that Giddens or no?
It's Joe Jackson.
Joe Jackson. There's no chance Satterfield gets fired, Joe. We just covered that. I really don't want to have to say it like 30 times.
If they hire Dion, I'll quit. So I don't even think that's a joke either.
Let's see.
I really hope Lance Leopold was wearing sunglasses during his press conference. That would have been awesome.
What was telling immediately, Keegan, as soon as Avery Johnson, like the game opened and Avery Johnson ripped off 40, 35.
You knew he was going to do it.
It was.
You knew he was going to do it.
As soon as that happened, I was like, you go no gain, 3-yard pass, incomplete, 38-yard punt. The first play, Kansas State gets the ball. It's a 30-plus yard run. This is gonna be real bad. I immediately went to the old Han Solo. I got a bad feeling about this meme or the GIF, because you could tell immediately. I mean, hot knife through butter. They just went straight to the end zone. 4 plays, 5 plays, just zip, zip, zip. Touchdown, 7-0. Cincinnati is going to trail for 55, 56 minutes in this game. Evan, I think it's like $15-something million. It's not happening, brother. It's not happening. No, I'm on live radio or television right now. I don't have time for you barking at me. Next week, I don't feel good about next week at all. TCU throws the ball for like 380 yards a game.
They might be the second hottest team in the Big 12 behind
Kansas,
Arizona State, third.
Kansas.
Yeah.
Kansas takes down Iowa State, BYU, and Colorado in back-to-back weeks.
That's wild.
After starting 1-6, they started the season 1-6, and then they just rip off the 3 top teams in the conference. We beat Arizona State. Like, that's gonna be the banner for this season, right? Like, how did they beat Arizona State? Because Arizona State had Jeff Sims at quarterback, which is the guy that Satterfield wanted to be the quarterback at Cincinnati last year when he got the job. Sorsby's awful. What the hell happened? I wish I had that answer, Kevin. Does this damage all of UC athletics? Tony, just relax. Jesus. I can't do it with you again this week, man. It's nonstop when that guy's in the chat. Like, I think he has an existential crisis during every game. Relax. Yeah, that Kansas win marks the first time in the history of college football a team with a losing record beat a ranked team 3 weeks in a row. And you know why that's the only time it's ever happened, Jason? Is because usually after that first or second win, you no longer have a losing record. But Kansas started 1-6. So they had a lot of wiggle room on chances to defeat ranked teams. I mean, there's no way to deny that Sorsby has gotten worse. This thing's moving too fast. Sorsby's gotten worse as the season's gone on and not better. I don't think there's any way to deny that.
Yeah. There's clear throws he was making earlier in the year that he is consistently missing through the past five of the last
Texas
6
Tech.
games.
Yeah, since Texas Tech.
Well, I think Arizona State he played pretty well. Better at least, but it wasn't
okay. It wasn't bad.
That was yeah. I think he's confident. I don't think he's in his head or anything. Like what Jeremy's saying. It's
that throw at the end of the half.
Yeah, that was I'm throwing it in this place the entire time and I'm not deviating from it. And I mean,
right.
They run a lot of running back screens, and that's the first time that's happened. So,
Jason, I think Sorsby probably already has monster NIL offers. Now, maybe those offers don't stay on the table after the way he's played the last couple of weeks. But knowing how this system works, I'd be shocked if there weren't 7-figure offers already on the table just for what he did the first half of the season.
Yeah. A lot of college programs, as you've seen, are willing to bet on a quarterback who's shown flashes of being great.
And he'd have 2 years left. You'd have multiple years if you got him. So, yeah. You were legit comparing Sorsby to Aaron Rodgers? What happened to you, P. Crawley? What happened to you?
He was one of the best performing quarterbacks throughout the entire country.
Through 5-6 weeks, and then the milk's gone bad. 2 thumbs down. The milk's gone bad.
Go to John Geddes.
Well, you said it out loud, Crawley. You said it out loud this time.
In my head. Yeah, I want to talk about John Geddes. I think this is interesting.
Okay. What changes to the coaching staff? I think we see it change. Defensive coaches get changed. I don't know that. I mean, that's the one area. Now, they've had a rough night tonight, but they've shown at least a modicum of improvement. They've looked like they've gotten better as the season has worn on. Kansas State had a really good, had their way with them tonight, which that's what they've done to people when Avery Johnson's been able to run the football. When he wasn't able to run the football, their offense stalled out. Tonight, he was back to running.
I don't think Jake Golday's taken a snap tonight. I've been looking for him, and all I'm seeing is
he had a hamstring issue or a leg issue or something that came out of the game, out of the Iowa State game. Another Kansas State touchdown. The beatdown is now on 41-9.
I think with the defensive coaches, I think it's if you want to look at special teams coordinator and just making a change, I completely get that. But you can't look at this completely new look defense with a new scheme and look at how they've performed and say it needs to be torn down.
Yeah.
Like, I think they've produced something to build upon, and a lot of people know how hard it is to show up every week to each game and say, oh, we basically have to play lights out because the offense can't do anything. Like, that's so difficult to be able to do that. So I think that they have something to build on for next year at least. I mean, if you think about it, if UC had their way with guys that were committed and you put George Gums on one end, Micah Coleman on the other, with Dante Corleone in the middle, that's one of the best pass rush units in the entire country. George Gums is Florida's best pass rusher, and he's one of the best pass rushers in the entire SEC. And then you lose him, which Florida made him an offer. He took it. They can offer more money than UC. That's how it is right now. And then, but you still have Micah Coleman. Micah Coleman gets hurt. You still have Jalen Hunt, who was making progress, and then he gets hurt. So that is a massive thing that the defense can't overcome when you lose guys like that. That would have a huge difference. The offense does not have the same excuse.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty much you've got a bunch of the same group from a season ago. Like, your offense is set, your offense is in, and the problem is, Keegan, you factor in a new quarterback and you think, okay, like, as he makes progress, we'll get better. And that has been the exact opposite. He was significantly better right away. And then as teams have gotten tape, they have just locked this Cincinnati offense up. I mean, really, the only thing that's consistently been worth a shit is handing the ball to Corey Kiner or finding Evan Pryor in space. The rest of it has been laughable for a month and a half. I mean, what? Xavier Henderson has 4 catches for 50 yards. Joe Royer has 1 catch for 13 yards. 5 catches.
60 now.
Okay. But you get my point. Like,
yeah.
No, it's still 4 for 50. That was incomplete. Okay, there it is. Sorry, it just popped up on Stat Broadcast. I was looking at Stat Broadcast. 4 for 60, 1 for 13. So 5 catches for 73 yards for those two guys against one of the worst pass defenses in the country. It's not acceptable.
Yeah.
It's not good enough. Like, we've been talking about that for a month plus. What this team is doing is just not good enough over and over again. This is 4 games in a row. Colorado, West Virginia, Iowa State, now Kansas State. Not good enough. Terrified to throw the ball vertically. I don't get where that came from, because he was so good at it early in the year. And now when he does throw it, like, he's not leading the receiver. Everything is like right in on the receiver, where the defensive back has a chance to be like right there. Like, I don't know. For some reason, it feels like those first 2 deep throws in the Arizona State game just took away whatever confidence he had in the deep ball.
Mm-hmm.
One got picked and one got knocked down, and he has not been the same throwing the ball down the field since.
Yeah. Yeah. And he has to throw in the tight coverage because guys aren't getting open. It's very rare. It's very rare where they're doing the replays of him like missing wide open guys and like not seeing them. It happens every now and then, but it's not a consistent thing. Now, him throwing and missing is the other thing. Corey Kiner is over 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
After that rush. Also, these uniforms are atrocious.
That's funny you mentioned that. I really liked them, like the previews, the pictures of them. Like when they
Didn't
put
see the
out the
black
pictures
collar.
earlier this week. That
Yeah.
I was like, "Ooh, that's not something they've used before." I like the look, and then on the field, I don't like them as much.
It's the black collar. Like, it just clashes.
Yeah, well, mainly because there's no other black in the uniform.
Yeah.
Like red helmet, white jersey, red pants. Where does the black fit in?
They
I'm
have
with
red
you. I
and
don't love
black
them.
helmets. So,
Yeah, but I mean, like in terms of like, it's just an accent in the helmets. The helmets are red.
yeah.
The black helmet. I maybe the black helmet gives it a little bit of a different look and doesn't make the collar look as weird.
We're reaching for stuff.
Oh, look at that. A deep ball. A deep ball, Keegan.
Air yards.
33 yards. 33 air yards. And I agree, Wolfie. His footwork has not been good the last couple weeks. Like he never looks. That was the thing. Remember we talked about so much early in the season, Keegan? He was just comfortable in the pocket. Like
Going through his
footwork
progressions.
Yeah, like he was, even when there was pressure in his face or like noise, he stayed in there. His footwork was good. Ever since then, like I don't know if it's happy feet or what, but
another miss.
His footwork has not been great. While we, there's 5+ minutes left. While we let this play out, how's the trip to Atlanta? How's it been? I know you're still down there. You're in a hotel. Looks like a nice hotel.
Yeah, Atlanta Marriott Marquis. It's a pretty nice hotel. It's really big. I think there's like 50 floors, so it's one of the coolest hotels I've been in. But this trip's been pretty good. I like Atlanta. It's a pretty clean city, all things put together. Tony Johnson's second touchdown of the day.
Touchdown, Tony Johnson.
This is like that Chris Paul meme where he's like, Chris Paul hits a massive three to cut the deficit to 42 points. I really want to. I'm not gonna. You can post that if you want to. I'm not doing it.
You can talk about Atlanta.
Yeah, it's been fun. McCamish Pavilion was super underwhelming. There might have been 4,000 people there, and it was one of those things where it's kind of like a circle setup. It's very similar to Iowa's Arena. If you've ever seen Iowa's Arena, what's the score? 41-15. But yeah, I'm assuming that Thanksgiving break is happening right now for Georgia Tech. That would make sense. Everyone just goes home for this week, so that definitely had an impact on it. But I'm pretty sure their average attendance is something around like 4,000. So,
I don't think Georgia Tech fans go to the game regardless.
Yeah, probably not. Which sucks.
Students, whatever.
You're playing a top 20.
Thomas,
team.
thank you, my friend. Storesby's regressed. The team overall has gone backward. Putting it out now. Give me Jason Kelsey. For what? Thomas, I'm gonna break something to you here. Cincinnati couldn't come within $10 million a year of what Jason Kelsey is making right now.
And even if they offer him, yeah, go ahead.
He's getting his own nighttime talk show on Friday nights on ESPN. who's ever done that? Like, he's getting his own show. He's got one of the 3 or 4 biggest podcasts in the world. Jason, like they couldn't Tillman Frittata couldn't pay Jason Kelsey enough money. Tillman egg thing, baked egg pie. Could not pay Jason Kelsey enough money to coach you. Like, no. I love it. Look, man. There would nobody be happier than me to see Jason Kelsey as the head coach of the Cincinnati Bearcats. But that ain't happening.
They could offer him $10 million more than what he's making now, and he'd still say no because of how much easier it is to not do that.
Yeah. And C-Rex, I know it's Tillman Fertitta, but I've called him Tillman Frittata for years because it makes me laugh. But thanks for the 20.
Thank you, Thomas.
Much appreciated, my friend. I'll send that to Keegan so he can make it home. Yeah. Has Atlanta been exciting? Have you done anything fun? What's the OTE experience like?
Dude, it's unreal. If you're ever in Atlanta and they're playing, just go. Like, you can get a general admission ticket for $2.
Yeah.
That's insane. They could charge $20 and I would completely understand, but it's $2. You can get courtside for $50 and go watch kids who are like, you're going to see a kid who in the next 2 years is going to be in the NBA. Like, guaranteed.
His name might be Sean Abayev.
LaShawn Abayev. But yeah, I mean, Abayev played great. That's actually how you pronounce it, is Abayev, not Abev.
Yeah.
Last night when we went and watched him, I think he had about 17 points, struggled from 3, but he was just on another level.
I didn't think they really like the second half of that game yesterday. He didn't really like hunt the ball. Like he wasn't aggressive with the ball in his hands as he was in the first half. And then today he was just on one. The thing that impressed me most, though, I knew he was a scorer. Like, I knew he could really get buckets. He passes the shit out of it. Like, baseline drive and dish, come down the middle, little lefty dump off on, into the dunk spot. Like, he took 31 shots today. So
he made over half of them.
He was not selfish. I didn't think.
No.
Like, I didn't think he was a guy that was just like a lot of those guys at that level. They get greedy. They get selfish. They want to just, chuck shots and kind of be the star. I didn't get that feeling from him. Like, I think he's going to fit in pretty well if he comes here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There
was one where he made I think he made like a layup or something and then made a 3. And he was heating up. I think he had like 30 some points, and they had just retaken the lead. And he got the ball.
He made a back-to-back threes and then kicked it to the wing.
Yes,
for another 3.
And he had a good look, but Daughtry was wide open, and he just kicked it out, and then they got it. That's a silver lining for football, is you're going to have some pretty damn experienced true freshmen next year who are going to be able to contribute.
Yeah, this is kind of what I was getting. I didn't say it as well as you did here, fake John Goebel. John Goebel was at the West Virginia game. I was going to take a picture and be like, it's good to see the real John Goebel. But I get stuck with the fake John Goebel instead. It's not often a guy shoots 31 shots and you feel like he passed the ball, like he worked to pass the ball. And he did. Like, he was not hunting shots.
Yeah. Yeah, you should. If you can't get down to Atlanta, like, I don't think you're going to make a trip around it, but the broadcasts are extremely entertaining.
They're
good. You can watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on Prime Video, whichever one it's on. They actually rotated like I think one game a night is on YouTube and then one game a night is on Prime. So they have to switch the feeds, but it's pretty entertaining. They have an MC. They have music going during the game. They have different rules. It's kind of like Banana Ball, like the Savannah Bananas, but it's not to that extent to where like you're not
It's
getting
not a
celebrity
sideshow.
shots. You're not getting celebrity shots like out of the crowd to hit a free throw or something. So yeah, Kansas State has their backup quarterback in a Big 12 game.
That's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
And I'm pretty sure he just got concussed.
I mean, you're down 26. Is that right?
They have to find a position for Marquavius Sabor to play next year. Because that star spot is too loaded.
Spots.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you got to move him to one of the off safety spots. Or Sat just checked his watch on the sidelines with 4:10 to go.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
He gave it one of the. He did give it one of these.
No, he didn't.
Is this the website for Cheatham Middle School athletics? Kansas State could have been put the backup in at the start of the third quarter, if we're being honest. I mean, they really haven't done anything in the second half. They've scored 14 points in the fourth quarter on advantageous field position because Cincinnati keeps going for it on 4th and 8 from the 46-yard line.
Brady Lichtenberg is in. Corey Kiner is still in. And they have the starting offensive line in as well.
Come on, Lichty. Oh, or not. He took off running straight into two large defensive linemen. Better coach Tuberville or Satterfield. Knock it off. Knock it off, Ryan. Who can we convince to hire Sat? Oh boy.
Sat is going to be a U.S. senator.
This is why I didn't want to start it after the game. It's going to get worse after the game.
Click on Sam's. Address it. Address Sam's comment. There he goes, Corey. Look at him go.
Fick reunion. Kidding, but imagine him never leaving. I don't know, man.
I think you want to imagine that.
Yeah. I think he knew what was coming last year. Like, I think he was well aware that they weren't ready for the Big 12. Could he have got him there eventually? Maybe. That's another sack for Brady.
I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that they don't have the same record. Or they have the same record last year.
It wouldn't have been, what, they get 4 or 5 wins instead of 3?
Yeah, maybe 4.
Yeah. Hey, look.
You beat Miami.
Look, say what you want. You give credit to Corey Kiner. He is running his ass off. Down 26.
He's literally probably just pissed. He's probably just running pissed.
Yeah. Before we get done, the game, Cincinnati it was 14-4, and from there it never felt like Georgia Tech ever had a chance to win that game.
Yeah.
They dominated Georgia Tech. Dominated.
Yeah. Won the rebounding battle for the first time in a little bit, which Wes said a lot of those came late, so he's not exactly the most thrilled with how they did, but he liked the effort level a little bit more. Big game from Tyler Betsy, knocked down a few threes, also played some really good defense. Wes said he's probably one of the best true freshman defenders he's had at this level. So he keeps on progressing. And then, CMOS, I think was he 2 for 3? 2 for 4 from
5
3?
from 2 for 5 from 3.
Now he's only
points. Just a terrible game for CMOS.
He's only like 60% from 3 on the season now. It's a shame.
Yeah.
But Connor Hickman stepped up, had a really good game driving to the hoop and getting to the rim, but also made a few shots from range. So that was the biggest thing with me looking at this game and just looking at this team compared to last year is they have that guy. They had that guy last year in Frederick, but he just couldn't stay healthy. So you have that guy in CMOS. And then you have two guys after him that will just hit a three to kill a run and just kill the other team's spirit.
Yeah.
Which is really what happened today.
It's what I've talked about with Hickman since he got here, like since getting to see him in practice and like seeing his game and become familiar with it. He doesn't need the ball.
Yeah.
Like he didn't touch the ball much. I'd love to see the usage rate for him because I bet it was in the 20s. If anybody has that they can pull up.
I don't need the football stats on my iPad anymore, so.
Jason, it wasn't that he hadn't hit a three yet all season. It was that he hadn't hit a three yet in 2+ years of college basketball. He didn't hit a three at Texas in either of his 2 years. So when like he had a reputation as a 3-point shooter.
Connor's usage percentage was 14.7.
Think about that. Think about how much we have talked about how well he played offensively today. And he basically had the ball 14% of the time when he was on the floor.
3 players had it more. Jizzle, Dylan, CMOS. Yeah, Jizzle, Dylan, CMOS.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's exactly the type of complimentary player that is going to pay dividends in the Big 12. A guy that, let's when Dan comes back, Dan will go back into the starting lineup. Connor will come off the bench. And you can bring a guy off the bench that can score you 10, 12, 15 points and have the ball for 60 seconds total in the offense. And I think today was really the first time that he didn't have to worry about playing the one all season because Day-Day was back and into that role. Now Connor gets to kind of move off the ball and be what he's good at. I think when you're playing him at the one, his best attribute is what he can do without being able to touch the ball a whole lot. So when you're making him play with the ball because you need him to play point guard, I think it takes away a little from what he's, what he's really good at. When's the last time UC had this good of a 3-point arsenal? Man. I mean, I know the year Gary and Kyle shot it really well. Jake and Jaron were good 3-point shooters. Kane and Justin Jennifer were good 3-point shooters. So that year, what do you?
Justin Jennifer?
Go look what he shot his senior year from 3. What do you think it was? Take a guess.
Percentage?
Yeah.
37.
Okay. Go look it up. Justin Jennifer college stats.
Oh, okay. 44.4.
His senior year. But he would bring the ball up, pass it, and then go stand in the corner and wait for a kick out. And as soon as he caught it, he would hit the 3. He found a role. He wasn't shooting on the move. He wasn't there was nothing fancy about it, but yeah, he shot the shit out of it his senior year. So that team shot it. That's the best one I can remember until, Field and Logan and DeMar were all in the same group. Jack Twyman. Boy. Good job, John Goebel. 44%. Nailed it. I don't think he had the volume, but I think it would have been right up there with one of the best 3-point percentages in the history of UC basketball. The game, they're not even putting the first down lines on the field. He's just trying to get out of here. I mean, yeah, Field was unbelievable. The gunslinger was unbelievable. But all right, Keegs, I think that's pretty much going to do it. We have a post-game Zoom to get to with Scott Satterfield.
It's going to be very fun.
Cincinnati falls. We'll go over stats here real quick because it's going to take a couple minutes before they get to the post-game press conference. 41-15, Kansas State wins. Cincinnati scores 3 in the second quarter, 6 in the third quarter, 6 in the fourth quarter. For some reason, they go for 2 in each of those situations. Like it mattered. Take the points. Who cares?
Did you see X?
Or I guess go for 2. Who cares?
X just like blatantly dropped the 2-point conversion, like hit him straight in the hands.
Did he push it to the ground? Sorsby, 21 of 39 for 200 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and a dreadful interception. Only 54% completion percentage. It's not good enough. Corey Kiner, good Lord, Corey. 15 carries, 140 yards. The long of 29, 9.3 per carry. Solid for Evan Pryor, considering how good this Kansas State defense was against the run. 6 for 26 from Pryor, 6 for 19 from Sorsby. Tony Johnson, 8 catches for 52 yards. X, 4 for 60. Mays, somebody found him on the new milk carton, the one that hadn't gone bad. 4 for 52. Kiner, 2 for 18. Royer, 1 for 13. Burkhalter, 1 for 9. They give up 428 yards to Kansas State. 281 on the ground, 147 in the air. They didn't force turnover, right? Nope, didn't force turnover.
They forced the first down.
Yeah,
on 4th and 13.
Yeah. 1 fumble, not lost for Kansas State. Kansas State had 4 sacks, only a loss of 14 yards. But hey, I mean, the Bearcats only had 3 penalties for 30 yards, Keegan. So for everybody that was worried about that last week, they got back to not being penalized, but they also got back to being really bad.
There wasn't a point in this game where you go, well, if they didn't do that, like they might have had a chance. It was just domination.
Not great, Bob. Not great, Bob. Listen for the clap, not the ass slap. That's right, Jared. Should put that on a t-shirt. Like somebody smacking somebody's ass. Listen for the ass. Listen for the smack, not the ass clap. Coming to you live from 513 Shirts. Corey did deserve better this season, Lambig. Lambig, where the hell you been? Used to make me laugh all the time, and now you're never around. We miss you, buddy. Next Cincy Light can rap ass slap. I don't know if I'd go that far. All right, Keegs. That's going to wrap it up. It's a bad night. It's a great day. The Bearcats win. They thump Georgia Tech. And then Sean Abayev goes for 42 and looks like the next LeBron James, some might say. LaShawn Abayev. And then, I don't know, I guess if you just want to say you blacked out at like 7 o'clock, 7:30, and you don't remember the rest of the night.
I ate a lot of Chick-fil-A, and I just blacked out.
What time are you hitting the road in the morning? You getting up early?
I'm going to stay up and write my basketball article and have that ready for the morning. And then, so I'll probably wake up at like 7:30 and then leave at 8:30, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to drive past here. So get me one of those XXL brisket sandwiches from Buc-ee's. and I'll meet you at the highway.
Okay. I'll just throw it out the window.
Yeah, it's fine.
Like hangover.
Yeah, whatever works. All right, man. Great stuff this weekend down in Atlanta. Much appreciated. Glad you had fun. Just make sure that EV is charged. That's right. Is Wes able to coach football? Unfortunately, I don't think so. Do you want to say bye to everybody, child?
Bye. I like basketball.
Bye. I like basketball.
I just tweeted. I said Wes Miller has never been more popular.
All right, everybody. We appreciate you coming out. And see, we're done. 11:26. I don't have to stay up until 12:30 to do this shit tonight. That's going to be a wrap. 41-15. Kansas State wins. One more chance at bowl eligibility next week against TCU. I don't feel great. We'll see you next time. It's The Aftermath, brought to you by Mio's, live from the Cincy Light Studios, right here on BearcatJournal.com.